In this video, I'll show you how to enter rational expressions in Mobius. We're going to start with a squared times b squared over b to the 6th times a cubed times c to the 4th over b times c to the 7th. I would say start writing this on your own paper to begin. Let's start with I have a squared times a cubed, so that would be a to the 5th. And then I have b squared, and I have c to the 4th. So I'm going to simplify the numerator, then go to the denominator. I have b to the 6th, and this is b to the 1st, so 6 plus 1, that gives me 7. And then I have c to the 7th. So now let's just simplify. So I have a to the 5th. I have this 2 and 7, so I'm going to subtract, and I'm going to go with what's bigger. So the bigger is on the bottom. 7 minus 2 is 5. That's where I'm going to leave it. Same thing with c. The higher power is in the denominator, so 7 minus 4 is 3, so I have 7 cubed. Right now I'm in the math tool, and that's how I'm going to go about entering the answer. So I'm going to start by A, and I'm going to hit the up arrow on my computer. So that was that caret that's over the 6. That way I didn't have to go into the toolbar, and I'll type a 5. Now that I'm in the exponent, I need to get out of the exponent. So I'm going to hit the arrow on my keyboard, and you can see I was up by the 5, and now I'm down right beside it. And I'm going to hit divide. And it made it a fraction. So now in the denominator, I can put b. I'm going to hit the up arrow, 5, hit the arrow over to tell it come back down, and then I'm going to hit c to the power 3. So it's important to hit that arrow to the right just to come back down as you're doing this. So let's say, how did I do? And you can say, it says we did a good job. I want to click back in it to show you if I switch the mode. So that was in the math entry, and let's go back to a text entry. I want you to see how that looks completely different. So if you are a person that likes to do the text entry, let me delete this and put it back in for you. If you're going to use the text entry, I would do a parenthesis, a to the power 5, close the parenthesis. So that says this is my numerator. Then I would hit divide by, parenthesis, b to the power 5. Then I'm going to hit times c to the power 3. I'm going to close the parenthesis, and then I'm going to hit the how did I do. So there's a little bit extra step that you need to do if you're going to do the text entry. Remember, you do have this option of previewing. And that preview will show you what it looks like, so that should help out too. So I would say if you're going to do the text entry, do the preview before you say how'd I do. That way you avoid any little errors that you can just get right by. Let's try another one. This time there is this factoring of the rational expression. So x squared minus 9 over x squared minus 4x plus 3 comes out to be x plus 3 times x minus 3 over x minus 1 times x minus 3. So the x minus 3 is the same in the numerator and denominator, which means it will cancel out. So when I go to put in the answer, it's just going to be x plus 3 over x minus 1. I'm going to go over here, and I'll do parentheses, x plus 3 divided by parentheses x minus 1. Let's preview. Looks good. So I'm going to say, how did I do? Okay. If on this one, again, I go back to the math tool just to compare ways that I enter it. So again, if I was going to enter this answer, I would still use parentheses just to say that x plus 3 is in the numerator. Divide by, I can see it drop down. Then it's up to you if you use parentheses or not in the denominator. But at first, if I didn't do that, watch, if I just said x plus 3 divided by, only the 3 would get the division. So I need parentheses around the x plus 3, that way it groups it. And then I can do divide by x minus 1, with or without parentheses, up to you. When you click how'd I do, it says it's absolutely fine without the parentheses in the denominator. So just careful with the parentheses, careful with your order. So I wanted to do just one more to talk about just one more entry issue that I saw with rational expression. So this one's much bigger. You can see it's 5d squared plus 54d plus 81 over 25d squared minus 81 times 5d squared minus 54d plus 81 over 81d squared minus 1. Already it's factored to 5d plus 9 times d plus 9 over 5d plus 9 times 5d minus 9 times 5d minus 9 times d minus 9 over 9d plus 1 times 9d minus 1. So what do I want to do? I first want to just write this down on paper and see what I can cancel. So I can cancel 5d plus 9 with 5d plus 9. I can cancel 5d minus 9 times 5d minus 9. You have left d plus 9 times d minus 9 over 9d plus 1 times 9d minus 1. And what I didn't think was clear, and I wanted to make sure you understood, is that you can't put the answer in this way. You need to do a little bit more. So we're going to put these back together. If you do d plus 9 times d minus 9, it's d squared minus 81. And then 9d plus 1 times 9d minus 1 is 81d squared minus 1. So right now I am in the math toolbar. So if you want to be able to just start typing, I would say go ahead and hit the fraction first. That way you can get rid of that a and turn that into d squared minus 81. And then the b, you'll turn into 81d squared minus 1. So keep remembering to push the arrow key over to make it come back down. Look at how it looks before you say, how'd I do? So let's hit that. If you decide you prefer to type in the text mode, you can see how it wants it answered. So you would want parentheses, d squared minus 81, parentheses, divide by, parentheses, 81d squared minus 1, parentheses. So totally up to you which way you want to do it. Pick a way that suits you and stick with it. Make sure you put in parentheses. You can use the Shift 6, which is the up caret, instead of having to hit the toolbar all the time. And make sure to come back down out of the exponent after you've typed your exponent in. Good luck, everybody.